Doodaloo doo doodaloo. What's happening? Are we back live? Thank you all for your patience in that transition period. I cannot explain to you how stoked I am to start this restoration. Okay, so what we're going to be doing here is a overview of the restoration that we're going to be doing on the Addams Family pinball machine. I'm going to step over here. If you're watching this video after the fact, you're wondering what the hell's up with this guy's beard, I am doing Silly Beard Day, which is one of the Patreon tier rewards. Anyways, we're going to be doing a full restoration of this machine from the ground up. So we're going to be going over what is wrong with the machine, what needs to be fixed, and some of the more damaged pieces of the machine. So we're just going to talk about it. The first thing I got to do here is pop off the glass. But before we do that, let's talk about how the restoration process is going to go. First thing we have to do is remove as much stuff off the top of the playfield as we can, categorize it, organize it, and get that ready to go. After that, we have to disconnect all the pins from the back box so we can pull the playfield completely and get it onto a rotisserie, which is just a thing you can rotate the playfield on. The third step will be removing everything from the top of the playfield, which includes a lot of stuff that has to be removed from the bottom, such as the number 10 post, mini post, or anything that is sticking out from the top of the playfield, so I can lay it down on a table. After it's laid down on a table, I have to remove everything from the bottom of the playfield to give myself just the playfield wood. At that point, we have to remove and reset all of the inserts, remove the overlays that are on the power section of the machine and on the house section of the machine, fix the paint, and then have it clear coated, and at that point we can start putting everything back together. So that's the general overview of what's going to be happening over the next couple months, I'd imagine. Let's get the glass off and we'll talk about some of the problems that this machine has. This machine's in okay shape. My guess is this machine was in a bowling alley or something. It's been around cigarette smoke. It's been around a lot of dust. And it needs a lot of love. But when we're done, this machine should look, play great, and be in really good shape for a long time to come. So we're going to pull the glass off, and then we'll talk about some of the unique problems of this machine in general. Some of the problems with this machine just happen because of design flaws in the machine. This machine has a lot of plays on it. I don't think when they made these machines, they were anticipating them being, 20 years old and still kicking. So they didn't do some things as well as they could have. Though, no matter what, how are you going to account for that much wear? Oh boy, my tripod's going to be in the way here, sorry. My dang. Alright. Alright, we got the glass off. We're going to switch over to the handy cam here, and then we'll talk about a few different things. It was some sort of giant alien spider, indeed. All of my daughter's lovely artwork there. And my somewhat messy workbench. Alright, let me pop open the thing on here so I can see what's going on. I'll try to keep this as stable as I can. So on this machine, there's two very common things that are done to the machine, which is a house overlay. There's a piece of plastic over where the house is. The reason this is, there is these inserts on the table. The ball, each time it hits one of these slingshots, it bounces a little bit, hits something, rolls over these inserts a lot, which eventually causes playfield wear. I have no idea how bad the underside of that looks until we get that overlay off. Whatever the case may be, I'll fix it the best I can and get it clear coated. Now, on the power here, you can see where this vinyl overlay is starting to come up. There's some bubbles here too. Underneath this power, there is 3 very, very strong electromagnets. This causes playfield burn over time. So my guess is around this ring right here, there's going to be some cracks in the paint that will need to be redone and refinished. I'm also going to end up trying to build like a heat sink type deal for the magnets to stop that from happening again. General wear on this machine. Let's see if I can zoom in here. Are you going to focus for me? Hold on. Be a good camera. Be a good camera. Go autofocus. How about that? There we go. You can see where some paint's chipped off the edge of this insert. It's happening on quite a few inserts on this machine. Here's the big damage on this machine. This is where the ball drops after you do a bear kick. You can see where it's completely gone through the clear coat. It's gone through the paint, and now it's chipping up wood. The ball drops here thousands and thousands of times over the lifetime of the machine. Why they didn't put a piece of mylar there, I have no idea. But that is the result of the ball dropping there God knows how many times. Another small note, you can see a lot of dirt down here on the ball launcher. That'll get sanded out and refinished. My apron's pretty jacked. I'm not sure what I'm going to do on that yet. For example, though, if you look at the top of Fester's head here, you can see the difference in the wear in the machine. This overlay was put on here prematurely without proper cleaning, is my guess. This is why it looks so dirty underneath the forehead and so clean on the face where I've cleaned it. All right. You can also see down here on the chair, just the ball wear from the ball going into the electric chair. That's a pretty easy fix. You sand it down, repaint it. Once it's clear coated, it should be pretty solid. You can also buy a thing called a Cliffy, which is a little metal insert that goes over there. No bigs on that. Alrighty. Alright, my ramp's pretty jacked in general. You can see a lot of, let's see if I can get down here. There's star bursting on the plastic where it's, the balls hit it repeatedly. This entire ramp assembly will be replaced. Lighting's not the best back here. Let's see if I can move this light a little closer. Okay. This is where a thing grabs the ball. You can see how dirty that is. Pretty bad. Other than that, it's really pulling stuff apart. Here's another good example of damage over time. This thing insert, or excuse me, has raised off the playfield, so it's proud right now. So that's going to need to be reset and redone. I'm going to end up buying all new inserts for this. But you can definitely see just general paint wear around most of the inserts on this machine. Definitely somebody tried to patch it at some point, but didn't do the best job in the world. These might be a real pain to get out if they have been epoxied in there or something, but we'll make do. Also, this bookcase is not completely level, and you can see some paint started to chip off. So this needs to be re-leveled so the ball will flow over there naturally. As is right now, when you try to take the shot to loop up and around, it hits this lip and then bounces into this metal and messes up your shot. You got Thing's hand down here, absolutely filthy in there. I am scared to open that thing, to be honest. Okay, that about goes over the damage on the top of the playfield. I'm going to switch back to the other camera, and we'll take the balls out and... Oh goodness, what am I stuck on here? Okay. We'll take the balls out of the machine and look at the bottom of the playfield. Yeah, a lot needs fixing on this, but on a good note, we're pulling the playfield completely. And once the playfield's pulled, we can fix just about any problem there is. Okay. I'm going to turn the machine on real quick and then eject the balls that are in there. There's two. Where's the third one? Maybe I can just poke it out. No, I can't. Okay. Okay, where's the solenoids? The solenoid test. Oh, crap. There it is. Okay, cool. And after it's done with this test here, we're just going to turn it off so that it's, doesn't electrocute me. That's usually good. Usually a good thing. Okay. Is the main exterior case in good shape? Yes, it is. It's actually in quite good shape. I believe it had new decals put on it at some point, so... Okay. So this machine, unlike the Star Trek machine, which can pull out in 3 different levels, only has 2 things you can do. You can prop it up with this thing. It's kind of sketchy. or you can put it to the fully resting position. It's going to be interesting to work on. All right. We're going to switch back to the handy cam here and talk about the bottom of the playfield, which isn't in bad shape. It's just dirty. Okay, handy cam. Bring this light a little closer. The inside of this cabinet is just disgusting. You can just see the layer of grime and dirt that's on there. So this needs like a super deep cleaning. What I'm going to have to end up doing is completely pulling all the wiring from the inside and probably deep cleaning and then repainting the inside of the cabinet. And that's a fun project in itself. It's just years of dirt, and this is probably in like a dusty state, maybe in Nevada or something. There's just a lot of dust floating around. And to be fair, the machine's 20-some years old. When you open this machine, the first thing you smell is that little whiff of cigarettes. Old stale smoke. So this is definitely in a bowling alley or something where smoking was allowed, which isn't great for the machine, but nothing you can't overcome. But yeah, these wires are just like, look at that. Pretty gross. On some good notes, the mechanical parts of this machine are actually in very good shape. It's had flipper replacements done very recently on all 4 flippers. The boards themselves do not look too filthy. The wires are in good shape. I think the scariest part for me is this thing box. I have to pull that thing apart and see what the inside of the thing looks like, which, could be okay. We'll see. Yeah, this machine was definitely around smoke, which isn't ideal, but at the same time, it's definitely nothing you can't clean up. And by the time I'm done with the inside of this cabinet, it will look pretty close to brand new, if not better than new if I paint it. So all of this stuff has to come off the bottom of the playfield, be organized in a way that I can put it back onto the playfield at the end of the day. Well, I'm fully terrified, but it's going to be okay. So zoom in on the electromagnets here. These are the 3 magnet discs that move the ball around. These red wires are the fuse upgrade. When they originally made this machine, all 3 magnets were on 1 fuse, and if that fuse busted, you had a major problem. So this makes it into 3 fuses instead of 1. So that's pretty much the overview. I'm going to go back to the other cam. We'll just do one more quick rundown of what's actually going to happen, and then we'll end right there. Okay. So, once again, what we're going to be doing is pulling everything we can off the top of the playfield tomorrow without actually disconnecting the pin connectors. And then after that, we'll disconnect the pin connectors and pull the playfield completely, get it on a rotisserie, pull everything from the top of the playfield, lay it down on a table, start working on the bottom of the playfield, and then go from there. Let's do one more thing before I end here. I have to end up junking my big deal machine, so I'm going to give you guys a quick overview of why that's going to happen. You're good. Okay. But that's it for the Addams Family machine. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to get rid of my childhood machine because it's just in too rough of shape. Okay. Here we are again. So this is my childhood machine, the 1977 Big Deal. Oh, crap off the playfield. Okay, so here's what's wrong with my childhood machine. You got stuff like this happening with plastics you can't replace. Sure, you can repair it. But the real damage here is on the playfield itself. Not only is there all these ball swirls and stuff, but there is quite literally planking like this where the wood's starting to split. So to actually repair this machine, I'd pretty much have to completely sand it down and repaint it. And it's a lot of work, and I can't get all these plastics and stuff again. So unfortunately, this machine's going to have to go. That being said, this machine right here saw more hours of play than any machine ever should. Vanilla Drizz. So that's the big deal, and I'm kind of sad to lose it, but I thought when I first got into pinball restoration I'd be able to do it, but after looking at it and reading a bunch, it's just not going to happen. So it lived a good life. It had a really good life as a machine. Many, many thousands of plays, many hours in the garage playing this as a kid. So it's sad to go, but it's got to happen. Also, there's broken plastics all up in here. It's really jacked. A man can dream, but my eyes are bigger than my stomach on that occasion. All right, guys, that is going to do it for me. That is the repair overview of the Addams Family and a brief overview of the Big Deal machine. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll start breaking apart the Addams Family machine, which I'm really excited to get into. But as always, you all are lovely. I appreciate you all, and we'll be back at it tomorrow, 7 p.m. Pacific. That's all we got for today. Frag out. Yeah, I know, the beard's crazy. Hi, James. Says, hey, what you doing, guy? Could I perhaps be internet famous? Yes, you could, James. Look at that face. It's the face of a cat that's seen things. Have a great one, everybody.